Y'all, Rob Anderson here, posting about business and reputations and reviews and things. And it's kind of like my company is far from perfect. We're far, far from perfect. We do have a lot of 5-star reviews. We do make it a very concerted effort to increase those 5-star reviews and to deliver that service. And from time to time, people are unhappy with stuff. I get it. Sometimes we kill plants. Sometimes there's been property damage, but we do always try to make it right. And, every time we're interacting with another business, whether it's, building our pole building, or buying vehicles or purchasing our fuel tank, they're selling stuff too. There's always opportunities for things to either be done better, or there to be some, quite frankly, shady stuff that's going on. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, and why I feel like it's really shady what's going on. So when we looked at buying our building, one of the things that we were dealing with was, hey, it doesn't have much warehouse space, so we were going to get a pole building. We had a rep from Delmarva Pole Buildings come in. I mean, phenomenal presentation. And here's the kind of thing that I really remembered correctly. I looked at putting a pole building in my backyard back in 2020, and the name Delmarva Pole Buildings came up, recommended by several, and also several people commenting and saying, let me DM you. I can't post it publicly. That's a big warning flag. Like, you know what? And I know that there are people that probably, have bad things to say about us behind our backs. And quite frankly, if it is bad publicity or bad information, I'd always love to know what it is so that we can hopefully try to improve and resolve those situations. So anyways, we signed on the dotted line, gave $5,000 deposit. And ultimately, the bank that we were trying to work with wasn't able to approve the big building that we wanted to build. That was going to be like almost 200 grand, 150 to 200 grand, somewhere in there. And I thought, my gut had really said that seems like a lot of money. I got a quote from another contractor who did some other work for us that was 20 to 30 grand less. And I'll say that there were some varying scopes in those. Ultimately, though, we ended up going up to Weller's Trailers in Bridgeville, and got what I actually was looking for, which was a basic pole building that we could then park our trucks inside, get them out of the elements, protect them better. And all in, we ended up spending like $45,000, $50,000. Again, this is a smaller building. This was just a 30 by 40 pole building. The Delmarva Pole Buildings was still going to be at like almost $100,000. And quite frankly, I don't think it included the grading and the other stuff that we were going to have to do, so it would have been even more than that. Ultimately, though, like what they wanted to do, their pricing and whatever, it wasn't going to work out. So, we called them, we canceled. Said, listen, it's not going to work out. Hey, can we get our money back, or can we get some of it? This is back October, November, somewhere around there. And the basic answer was no. We've already spent $5,000 on the architectural drawings for your pole building. And what I really struggle with that, like, hey, I'm not an architect. It's the first time we've had to get architectural drawings. Like, what I looked at it, I'm no artist, but I could draw this stuff. And we're talking super, super duper rectangle. Here's, 3 or 4 garage doors or bay doors and a couple man doors and maybe some small windows. Like nothing elaborate, nothing special with the roof. Like literally just 2 sections of roof. That's it. And I pushed back on that, and it was, well, I don't know. That's what the architects charge. And this had gone on since, May or June is when we signed. November is when October, November is when we tried to cancel it all. And basically, left it at, we had a conversation. I had a conversation with the sales rep. Like, dude, I think that that's ridiculous. I think we should be getting some amount of money back. And here's the thing too, like from a business standpoint, you can have somebody who's unhappy with your service and won't use you again. Have somebody that's unhappy with your service and you turn them around, and now, hey, a lot of times when something gets screwed up, that really shows the difference in that company and how they handle that situation. And I'll also say that as a business owner, I'm always very hesitant to post stuff like this because, you think karma, you think what goes around comes around, all that kind of stuff. But it's a shady situation what's happened. So I updated with the factual information of what had happened with them and the fact they kept the 5,000, and that, Wellers, and I don't really like throwing their name in here because everything they've done has been phenomenal. They were able to give me the designs for the, for us to be able to send over to the county. He was able to do the revisions on their computer in like literally 5 minutes. Like, hey man, can you move the window over here? I want the 3 doors this side. Okay, let's, he hits refresh and the computer redoes it. Like, if another contractor can literally do it on their computer in front of me in less than 5 or 10 minutes and not charge me anything for that, and another company saying that it's $5,000 in architecture fees, like either that company's being screwed over by the architects or somebody's lying big time. And I really, every building is unique, but also when it's 30 by 40, there's really only so many custom combinations. And you're really at that point going to be picking and choosing between the 4 different options that you could do on the front of a 40-foot wide building or 40-foot long building. Anyways, no, I'm getting long-winded here, but so I get a phone call from the company. Sales rep calls me and is like, hey man, oh yeah, I talked to the owner or his manager back when this all happened. I got busy. We'll give you $2,500 back. Didn't mention the review, didn't mention anything else. And I get the thing. He's like, hey, I just signed that, and then they'll be able to go ahead and send you over the refund. That'll prompt that. And being a smart business person, I went ahead and looked at it. And in those lines, it says that I cannot disclose any information about pricing, interactions with Delmarva Pole Building, posting it socially, or any of those other things. And that's the part that really, really pisses me off. Because here's the thing, as a business owner, as a company, you're literally now it's going back to like look more detailed into the reviews that they had. There is so much bad publicity up there that they're basically trying heavy-handedly to force people to not disclose. And what pisses me off about that is, one, that's super shady. But two, like, that there's a broken process, fix it. That, hey, this keeps pissing people off, and hey, we didn't get the $190,000 for the pole building that we wanted, but hey, we still got Rob's $5,000, or we got this person's money, or hey, we still haven't been able to figure out how to get garage doors in stock in a timely manner. I heard that from a couple people. The whole thing that with their subs that, hey, we get the we get the deposits, we get started, and then it does take us a long time to finish everything to the final finishing. And I'll say this, with our pole building, we had 3 10-foot doors. They managed to bring, one of the doors was 7 feet tall. So when they installed it, they're like, there's a problem here. And it was like a week later that they brought the 10-foot door up. And that was it. That's it. Nothing shady, proper communication, not trying to, here's the thing. For a company to try to deceptively get me to sign something to give me back my money, and essentially I'm going to get half my money back with the side of a gag order. That's BS, y'all. I know I'm going to get another call from them, but here's the thing is, like, if the rep had said, dude, I'm really sorry, like, yes, that's what we should have done. We should have given you half your money back. At least, And I was willing to be like, hey, I get there's some cost. Maybe they keep $1,000. That's still even a lot, really, when we're thinking about it. And also understanding that that $5,000 to me is a way bigger issue than, I'm assuming that they do 5, 10, $15 million in pole buildings a year. That $5,000 is nothing. That's not even a rounding error on their math. So stay away, y'all. If you need a recommendation, Excel Construction Group did phenomenal work for us. The concrete they did, and then I forget the name of the company that actually did the actual building install. They were great. They worked hard. They got everything done. Very efficient. And I've given them tons of positive feedback, positive reviews, tagged them, put all the stuff on social that I could to help them. And apparently that's not something that Delmarva Pole Buildings cares about. It's just, unfortunately, that's their situation. And when I really look at it, that $2,500 is not worth it to be bribed to let other people get screwed over. I don't know that there's a dollar amount worth that. So, food for thought, y'all. And Delmarva Pole Buildings, when you're watching this, I really hope that you actually listen to the whole thing and not like, oh man, we got to shut Rob up. Figure out what you've got to solve in your company for this to not be the way that you handle business. I mean, I found Facebook groups that are all about all the nonsense that you guys are doing, and that's crazy. That means that you're doing this often and to a lot of people, and that you have no desire to actually resolve these things. Like, that's the absurdity of it.